The first mistake Commander Asierin made was assuming the human was fragile. On the battlefield of Kharos Prime, assumptions got warriors killed. The Red Desert world had once been a mining colony, rich with crystalline minerals that powered faster than light engines. Now it was a graveyard of twisted metal and scorched earth, claimed by the Trelvax Dominion after a brutal campaign. The Dominion's warriors, tall, armored beings with chitinous skin and 4 burning eyes, believed themselves superior to every species they conquered. Humans were no exception. Asierin stood atop a shattered ridge, her armored tail curling behind her as she surveyed the battlefield. The air shimmered with heat and ash. Below her, Dominion troops dragged prisoners into containment zones. Most were wounded. Some were dead already. Then she saw him, one human, kneeling among the rubble, hands bound behind his back. His armor was cracked, his helmet missing. Blood ran down the side of his face, yet he sat upright, staring back at his captors with defiant eyes. "Why is that one still alive?" Bryn asked. "A straggler," one of her subcommanders replied. "Human infantry. He resisted capture." Asierin descended the ridge, her heavy steps sending small avalanches of red dust cascading down. She stopped in front of the human and studied him closely. He was smaller than her by nearly a head, built of flesh instead of reinforced exoskeleton, his breathing uneven. Weak, she thought. "What is your designation?" she demanded, her translator clicking to life. The human lifted his head slowly. "Lieutenant Marcus Hale," he said. "United Earth Defense Forces." "Lieutenant," Asierin repeated with amusement. "Your forces have abandoned this world. You are defeated." Marcus smiled, a thin, bloodied curve of his lips. "Then why do you look so nervous?" Several warriors shifted uneasily. Asierin's eyes narrowed. "I will make you useful," she said. "You will be my prisoner. My trophy." The second mistake Asierin made was choosing to keep Marcus alive. She ordered him transferred to her command vessel, the Crimson Ascendancy. Humans were rarely taken as individual prisoners. They were either executed or processed in labor camps. But Asierin had risen through the ranks by demonstrating dominance over conquered species. A human officer, broken and obedient, would elevate her status. Marcus was placed in a containment cell reinforced with energy restraints. Asierin visited him often, partly to interrogate him, partly to observe. He frustrated her. He did not beg. He did not scream. When she threatened him, he laughed softly. When she questioned him about human strategies, he offered vague truths mixed with subtle misdirection. He spoke calmly, even politely, as if she were not his captor, but an inconvenient obstacle. "You do not fear me," Asierin said during one visit. Marcus met her gaze. "I respect you. There's a difference." "Respect," she scoffed. "You are bound. You are alone. I could end you with a gesture." "Then you would," Marcus replied. "But you haven't." Asierin hated that he was right. The third mistake Asierin made was believing strength was only physical. During a skirmish near the Outer Rim, the Crimson Ascendancy sustained damage. Power flickered through the lower decks. Asierin was forced to relocate several prisoners, including Marcus, to a temporary holding area closer to engineering. That was when things began to change. Marcus watched everything. He listened. He asked questions disguised as idle conversation. He noticed which guards hesitated and which followed orders without thought. He learned the rhythm of the ship. Asierin noticed his attention but dismissed it. "What do you hope to accomplish?" she asked him one cycle. "You cannot overpower us." Marcus shrugged against his restraints. "Humans don't always win by overpowering." She laughed. "Then how?" "By enduring longer than our enemies expect." The fourth mistake Esserin made was allowing him into the arena. Trelvax culture revered combat above all else. Honor duels were sacred, and victories brought immense prestige. When one of Esserin's rivals challenged her authority, accusing her of hoarding a human prize without proving dominance, Esserin reacted instinctively. She announced a demonstration. The human would face a Trelvax warrior in controlled combat. He will die, her advisors warned. Humans are slow, soft. That is the point, Esserin replied. I will show them all. Marcus was released from his restraints and fitted with a basic combat harness. No weapons, no armor beyond minimal protection to prolong the fight. Across the arena stood a Trelvax champion, armed with energized blades and plated from head to tail. The crowd roared. Esserin watched from her command balcony, certain of the outcome. The duel began. Marcus moved differently than expected. He didn't charge.
He didn't panic.
He studied his opponent, circling, testing distance. The Trelvax warrior struck fast and hard, blades flashing, but Marcus dodged, rolled, absorbed glancing blows that should have crushed bone. Minutes passed. The crowd grew restless. Then Marcus struck. He used the environment, sand, broken stone, the warrior's own momentum. He targeted joints, exploited overextensions, struck nerve clusters with brutal precision. When the Trelvax champion finally fell, stunned and bleeding, silence filled the arena. Marcus stood over the fallen warrior, breathing hard. I yield, he said calmly. Esserin's claws dug into the railing. The fifth mistake Esserin made was underestimating the cost of pride. The arena defeat humiliated her rivals, but it also planted doubt. Whispers spread through the ranks. If a human could defeat a Trelvax champion, what else were humans capable of? Esserin doubled down on control. She ordered Marcus restrained again, isolated, punished. It only hardened him. You could have earned loyalty, Marcus said after one particularly harsh confinement cycle. Instead, you chose fear. Fear maintains order, Esserin snapped. No, he replied. It just delays rebellion. The rebellion came sooner than she expected. Human resistance forces launched a coordinated strike on Kharos Prime, exploiting weaknesses Marcus had subtly fed through Dominion channels. Sabotage erupted across the sector. Systems failed. Shields collapsed. A boarding party breached the Crimson Ascendancy. In the chaos, Marcus broke free. He reached the command deck as alarms blared and fire licked the walls. Esserin stood at the center, issuing orders that no one could follow fast enough. They faced each other amid the destruction. You planned this, Esserin said, realization dawning. I adapted, Marcus replied. You taught me how you think. They fought. This time, there was no arena, no crowd, just survival. Esserin was stronger, faster, her blows capable of shattering steel. Marcus was battered, bleeding, every breath a struggle, but he refused to fall. He anticipated her strikes, baited her aggression, drew her into overcommitting. Finally, he disarmed her. She fell to one knee, stunned. Marcus stood over her now, mirroring the moment in the arena. It's over, he said. Esserin looked up at him, her eyes blazing with fury, and something else. Understanding. You were never weak, she said quietly. I was blind. He lowered his weapon. That was your choice. Human forces secured the ship. Esserin was taken into custody, stripped of command. The Dominion retreated from Kharos Prime, their illusion of superiority shattered. Years later, the war would continue, but it would never be the same. Humans were no longer underestimated, and Esserin would live with the truth she learned too late. She had faced a human. She had underestimated him, And she paid the price.